Hey everyone, this is a trader investor. I want to talk about AMC in light of the Wyckoff theory. I've talked about this a few times. I've even drawn it for you here, where we've had our, some would call it a squeeze already, and some would call it not yet the full potential of the squeeze. In respect to the Wyckoff theory, that doesn't really matter whether we had the full squeeze or not. What we want to see is this area of consolidation here. Is it an accumulation or is it a distribution? So there's two ways to kind of look at this. We had our buying climax. We had that automatic rally, which is in this case a pullback, and so we form a base, and then from that pullback we have the test. So in this area here we form what is called as the creek line. So we jump the creek means once we get past this line we are resuming the uptrend. So could this be our creek line, or could this be the creek line at the bottom? If this is a distribution, then price is going to give us an upthrust after distribution, and it's going to continue to drive down and continue its way down if this is a distribution. If this is a reaccumulation, then we're going to see something completely different. So if that's our assumption, then price has already given us a low volume. As you can see, low volume here, sell off. It didn't really sell off. It's low volume. It could be considered a terminal shakeout. But what I have not seen is I have not seen the creek jumped, meaning price closes above it and doesn't come back down below it. This is what it does. It hasn't done that. So if that's how we are looking at it, then is it possible that the first line that I drew last week and the previous week as our jump the creek line is really not that line? Maybe it needs to be moved up slightly and capture these highs as well. This is never a perfect area, right? Support resistance is an area, it's not a single point. So if we look at it from that perspective, maybe what we want to see is then this line broken. So I don't want to confuse you by having a down arrow. I want this second line broken, completely broken, and then maybe we get a pullback to resume, and that would be the start of the next short squeeze momentum. This is really what's going to happen if this is an accumulation, a reaccumulation area. If it's a distribution, like I said, it's going to collapse. Of course, I'm going to keep wishing that it collapses before we get another real big squeeze move to the upside, but I don't trade what I wish, I trade what I see. So right now, in today's action, this is an inside day. We're below the high of Friday, we're above the low of Friday. So I want to make sure that we get that taken care of, that we see that clearly. I want to make sure we see that clearly. So if we mark our highs of Friday up here, our lows of Friday down here. Now we thought we were going to push up because we had a price move higher than Friday's close, but now we're lower than Friday's close. Price is starting to push back down. So there's really no strength in the market right now. There's really no decision to say, hey, we want this squeeze to continue. Actually there's weakness. I believe a lot of people are selling, so we could see this, and there's this gap to be filled, there's this imbalance to be filled. I'm going to play to the downside, not shorting. I'm not going to get into the shorting of the stock, but I am going to buy puts if I see price come down, test the lows of Friday, maybe has a short rally to the close of Friday and gets rejected with a significant candlestick pattern like a graveyard doji, an upside down pin bar, an evening star, railroad tracks like a bearish engulfing, any form of a candlestick pattern that says, hey, I'm rejecting at the close of Friday, then I can buy puts to the downside. AMC, you have to be a little bit cautious because those wild moves to the downside could reverse on you quickly. So don't have too many positions open and keep your tights, your stops tight. That's what I'm going to do if I see an entry to the downside. I have stocks expecting price to significantly move up, AMC to the moon. I'm buying into that philosophy. But in the meantime, as price is deciding when and how far it wants to go before a big squeeze, I'm going to take advantage of these upswings, take advantage of the upswings, and take advantage of the downswings. Of course, having taken Friday off, there was no entry for me on Friday. There was no participation for me in the market except for orders that I had placed on Thursday that closed for me in profit on Friday. Except for those, there was no new entries for me on Friday. So AMC, an inside day, no big action. It kind of faked us out and say, hey, I'm going to go up. But did you wait that first 15 minutes for the markets to settle down? And what did they do after they settled down? Well, you can see the 15-minute bar, it opened up here, it pushed, and then it collapsed. It tried to take back control. Nope, it didn't even make it to halfway of the 15-minute range, and it started to collapse. So now I want to see a possible area. I have a couple of possibilities. The close of last week is already breached. So if we see a rejection here, it's a good entry. If we see price come here, reject, and gives us here, is a good entry. Do we have a dollar or more available space from the close of Friday to the lows of Friday, right? Beautiful entry. A few contracts here on an AMC. They're pretty pricey, but if you get the direction right, you also get the profits right. So be careful. You can do a spread. If you're not comfortable with the way they're priced, take advantage of it. Just do your spreads a little bit wider so you can capture your gains faster. You don't want your short position to come in the money and have a bigger gamma, which results in the delta increasing faster, which reduces the time it takes for your spread to be in the money at the level you want it. Yeah, that's a conversation for another day. They have an option 101 course video on YouTube that talks about that. But in general, if you want to do spreads to minimize your risk, or your capital is not enough to just buy one directional play, then make sure you have it wide enough so that you can capture your gains there faster. So this is how I'm looking at AMC. We're in this Wyckoff area, whether it's accumulation or reaccumulation or distribution, yet to be seen. Let's just play it out and see what happens. All right, everyone, take care for now, and I will see you in the next video.